First Green Party candidate Jill Stein. She joins us tonight from San Antonio, Texas. Dr. Stein, thanks for being here.
Great to be with you, Brett.
Your thoughts on this race, how it's shaping up, and what you're trying to do with your campaign?
Well, I think the American people have made it very clear what they think of this race, which is that it's not about them. This is a mockery of our democracy. These are the most disliked and untrusted candidates in our history. Even their own supporters, according to polls, don't really support them. They just really dislike the other major party candidate. And the American people are screaming for more voices and more choices. There are 4 candidates that are on the ballot in America. We not only have a right to vote, we have a right to know who we can vote for. And I encourage people to go to my social media site, Dr. Jill Stein, that's Dr. Jill Stein, and join us for a real open debate. We will be crashing the party and actually answering the questions that Donald and Hillary refuse to answer so that they can keep talking about who's the greater crook.
Dr. Stein, I know you've been following this email investigation. I know you've weighed in on it a bunch. I follow you on Twitter. One of the tweets was on Friday. You said the DNC had already selected Clinton before the primary began. Every vote for Clinton is a rubber stamp for elitist corruption. Are you seeing things in these WikiLeaks emails that are problematic for you? And tell us your feelings.
Well, I think, you know, the WikiLeaks emails confirm what we have seen previously. The DNC leaks at the time of the Democratic National Convention showed that there was a lot of collusion going on behind closed doors, that Bernie Sanders' campaign was basically sabotaged, what could have been a very strong and winning campaign, and that the DNC was collaborating with the Hillary Clinton campaign and with some members of the big media in order to smear Sanders and to really tilt the playing field against him. You know, in terms of emails, we've also seen that, you know, Hillary chose to make half of the volume of her emails as Secretary of State secret. And, you know, what are you doing as Secretary of State? You have that much discretionary time that half of your emails can be rendered about your private business and therefore taken off of the public record. So yeah, there's a lot to be concerned of, but it's not just Hillary, obviously. It's Donald as well, and we've seen that Donald is refusing to release his tax returns. Now we've seen that Donald is the sexual predator that he has bragged about being, that he has been offshoring his jobs, even while he talks about, you know, objecting to these trade agreements that offshore our jobs. So we've got 2 candidates who are representing, you know, the economic elite, while the American people are being thrown under the bus. I'm the only candidate in this race that is not poisoned by big lobbyist money, big corporate money, and a super PAC. So I'm actually standing up for what the American people need and deserve: an emergency jobs program to solve the emergency of climate change, bailing out a generation of young people locked in debt like we did for the crooks on Wall Street, free public higher education, etc. This is what we need, and it is within our reach.
Yeah, first of all, obviously Hillary Clinton says she has been transparent, and that's obviously for people to look at and analyze on their own, and Donald Trump has denied these allegations. You, last time you were with us on Center Seat, said that you were disappointed that climate change and the environment hasn't come up in debates. Someone who I imagine that you line up with on this issue is former Vice President Al Gore, who was campaigning with Hillary Clinton in Florida. Take a listen.
Your vote really, really, really counts a lot. You can consider me as an exhibit A of that truth. Elections have consequences. Your vote counts. Your vote has consequences.
So he went on to say that votes for Ralph Nader in Florida cost him the election in 2000. Your thoughts on that and how he lines up with you?
Well, we're in a different place than 2000, but let's just say in 2000, the real votes were the votes that Al Gore could not win for himself, which actually defected over to the Republican Party and to George Bush's campaign. Ralph Nader's votes were a tiny fraction of that, and if you were going to blame Nader, you could blame every independent political party, each of which got more than the margin of difference. So the solution to a democracy on life support is not less democracy. Two establishment state parties, you know, that are okay, and we can't have any political opposition. That is two-party tyranny. That's not what democracy looks like. In this race, we actually have 4 choices, and the American people are actually screaming for those choices. And 76% of Americans are saying we need an open debate. They want to know who the other candidates are. Guys like Al Gore, you know, are telling the American people, be good little boys and girls and take your marching orders from the political pundits and the party operatives. Well, you know what? They've been throwing us under the bus. And the American people have stood up and said, we don't buy it. We're tired of a rigged economy, and we're tired of the rigged political system that keeps us stuck in that rigged economy. The name of the game is getting the word out. We came up in the polls, you know, from 4% to 12% among independents as the word is beginning to spread, despite the media blackout. And kudos, of course, to Fox for not being a part of that complete blackout. But we've had a tiny fraction of the exposure on media. Americans deserve to know who they can vote for.
You have a voice here. You've been on this show a couple of times. We enjoyed having you on, and we appreciate it. And we'll see you down the trail.